Hello and hi. My name is Alyssa, and I'll be walking through my lab 2 of the advanced database class at Full Sail. Up at the top here, I have my imports for PyMongo and MySQL connector. This lab was to switch data from a Mongo database to a SQL database and then do updates and reverse it. So in the very first part, I have my SQL connection here, where I'm starting the connection, and here I'm creating an insert DB def, which a definition, for those of you who don't know, is the same as a function in other languages. So I'm creating a function here and opening the function with a colon. Python is tab sensitive. The next line, I'm going ahead and instantiating my SQL connector connection. I'm using the DB name here and giving my host, port, user, password, and so on and so forth, in order to connect to my ADB database, which I can go ahead and show you. This is my ADB database right here that I'm showing you in SQL Pro, with the structure completely laid out and the empty content. Okay. I'm hoping switching screens like that you actually saw the application. I'm not sure if QuickTime works that way. So anyways, after my inside of my insert DB def, I made my SQL statement here, and then down below I opened up a cursor and executed the cursor, going ahead and passing it the SQL and my document info. My document info is an array that I created here that goes ahead and matches up here, persistent ID, with the name that is going to be in the table, with persistent ID, which is a variable on my side of the things. So the next set of functionality, I opened up a connection to my Mongo database. And then after I did that, I went ahead and called the Mongo database saying, hey, find in your collection everything that has a type of track. And then I did a loop. So for our in Mongo result, which is what's returned from this collection, I'm going ahead and printing out this big ugly line, printing out the persistent ID, and then I created the SQL just as we did above for the MySQL, and I opened up a cursor and executed the SQL. Down below, these are making sure that the fields exist, and if they don't exist, to insert a blank. Before I created this, it was giving me errors because not all of the tracks would have all of the information, and my SQL database was very picky and wanted something for every single row in its table. So either insert what R has in it for size, year, kind, so on and so forth, or insert a blank is what I'm saying here. After that, oh, and this is where I am setting up these variables, SQL row, SQL year. I'm going ahead and grabbing them, which I had to actually console log. I had to actually print out this SQL row, which is going into the cursor and grabbing one, and I had to find out where the persistent ID, the year, the play count was kept, and in that order is how I had to drill into the object array. Then down here, this functionality, if it doesn't exist in SQL, then go ahead and insert it. And then if the record exists in SQL, check if an update needs to happen. Basically, has a field changed? So I'm just down here saying else if, which in Python, elif is kind of a shorter way of saying that. If talbum is not equal to SQL album, which we set that variable up here, going ahead and grabbing it out of the cursor that we got from right here, my Mongo connection. This cursor, we're saying, hey, cursor, give me 1 every time on the loop, because remember, we're still inside this for R and Mongo results loop. So for every time there's something, which we're calling R for, result, in Mongo result, which was set equal to finding type of track and collection, we're going to go ahead and create a SQL row and then drill into that SQL row and pull out the ID, the year, the play count, so on and so forth. So after we, I was here saying if it doesn't exist, or this doesn't exist, or this doesn't exist, go ahead and say, hey, I'm updating the record. I'm printing that. And go ahead and say update iTunes, which is my SQL, and go ahead and insert into there, which I'm doing in my cursor, which I'm meshing the SQL and the document info as I did above again. This is good for preventing against SQL injection. It's better security than just inserting the SQL with the variables set in there. I believe that is all for now. Thanks for watching.